That is President Biden you see there, standing alongside Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The atmosphere is tense, yet filled with anticipation. Today, the president addresses a nation and a world that has waited anxiously for a breakthrough in one of the most challenging conflicts in recent history. Good afternoon, President Biden begins. It is indeed a very good afternoon because, at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal have been reached between Israel and Hamas. For over 15 months, the region has endured relentless conflict, a conflict that began with Hezbollah's brutal massacre on October 7th. For 15 months, families have waited in agony, hostages have lived in terror, and innocent people in Gaza have suffered unimaginable devastation. But today, the fighting in Gaza will stop. Hostages will return to their families, and we begin the process of healing. The president's tone carries both relief and resolve as he details the structure of the agreement, a carefully negotiated deal spanning 3 critical phases. Phase 1 will last 6 weeks, he explains. During this time, Israeli forces will withdraw from all populated areas of Gaza, and Hamas will release a significant number of hostages, including women, the elderly, and the wounded. I'm proud to say that Americans are among those who will return home to their loved ones. In exchange, Israel will release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Humanitarian aid will surge into Gaza, bringing much-needed supplies, water, medicine, and food. These essentials will reach communities that have endured devastation, offering a glimmer of hope to those who need it most. Biden continues. Phase 2 will begin negotiations for a permanent end to the war. If talks extend beyond 6 weeks, the ceasefire will remain in place as long as negotiations continue. This ensures that progress will not come at the expense of peace. The final phase, he says, will bring closure to this long ordeal. The remaining hostages, or tragically their remains, will be returned. And a major reconstruction plan for Gaza will begin, offering the region a chance to rebuild and move forward without the shadow of Hamas's control. The room is silent as the president pauses briefly, his tone shifting to one of reflection. The road to this deal was not easy. As someone who has worked in foreign policy for decades, I can confidently say this was one of the toughest negotiations I've ever experienced. But it was necessary. The United States, alongside our allies, played a crucial role in weakening Hamas, isolating Iran, and ensuring that the innocent were not forgotten amid the chaos. As he speaks, images of families holding photos of loved ones flash on screen, a poignant reminder of the human cost of this conflict. Behind the scenes, the road to peace is shown, a montage of intense diplomatic efforts, with leaders working tirelessly to bring opposing sides to the table. The president's voice carries a sense of accomplishment. This agreement represents more than just a ceasefire. It represents the power of diplomacy and the unwavering commitment of nations working together for peace. A reporter interrupts the somber moment with a bold question. Mr. President, how much credit do you give to the Trump team for this deal? Trump has already claimed credit. The question hangs in the air for a moment before Biden responds, steady and firm. This is the exact framework of the deal I proposed back in May. Exact. It was embraced by countries around the world and overwhelmingly endorsed by the United Nations. America's steadfast support for Israel helped create the conditions for this agreement. And yes, the terms will largely be implemented by the next administration. That's why I've instructed my team to coordinate closely with the incoming team to ensure we speak with one voice. Because that's what American presidents do. His answer is measured, yet leaves no doubt about his stance. The narrative continues, shifting focus to the broader implications of the agreement. This is not just about today, Biden asserts. This is about the future. A future where the people of Gaza can rebuild without fear, where the Palestinian people can pursue a credible pathway to statehood, and where the Middle East can finally move toward normalization and integration. He highlights the progress already made: a weakened Hezbollah, a diminished Iran, and the election of a new Lebanese president not beholden to external forces. This deal is a step forward, but make no mistake, there is much work to be done. The president's voice softens as he reflects on the human cost of war. Too many lives have been lost, too many families have suffered. But today, we have a chance to change that. This deal is not just about ending a war, it's about giving hope to those who have endured its horrors. It's about showing the world that peace is possible, even in the darkest of times. He closes with a poignant quote, one that resonates deeply. As my dear friend Senator George Mitchell once said, diplomacy is 700 days of failure and 1 day of success. Well, today is that day of success. Let us build on it. As the press conference concludes, a reporter's voice cuts through the room again. Credit for this, Mr. President? You or Trump? Biden chuckles softly before walking away, the weight of his silence carrying his answer. To everyone watching, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth coverage of the stories that matter most. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments what you think about President Biden's handling of the ceasefire and his response to Trump's claims. Let's continue the conversation.